Jaxson Dart was drafted 25th overall in the 2025 NFL Draft after the Giants traded up to pick their second first-rounder. Dart, coming out of college, was a highly polarizing quarterback prospect who I thought was more of a day 2 player, but we all know that the league values the quarterback position more than any other. In the 3 preseason games, Dart only seemed to improve and ended up dazzling over the 3 weeks we got to see him. Today, we'll break down everything from Jaxson Dart's preseason performances, talking about the big plays and explaining some of the stuff that I saw on his film. Big plays are the best plays, so we can start there. I think we've all already seen this one, but he's got this outside fade route with a single high safety. Jaxson shuffles backwards, plants, and throws. The ball is laid out there really well for his receiver to make a great play on it and score a great touchdown. The Bills have double digs called, but I want to bring your attention to this pressure on the backside tackle. There is some push, so Dart moves without looking, and then on the move, he throws over the middle and drilled the dig in the second window. You can really see it well from the end zone copy, where he just feels it and is able to adjust, then complete the throw. I didn't really regard or grade any one play as spectacular from Dart's week 2, but this is 4 verticals and it wasn't bad. Gunner wins underneath, but Dart wants more, so he fired it up the seam, maybe got the receiver hit, but hey, it's part of the game. This is a really nice red zone post rail concept. Dart, again, kind of shuffles back and on time with slight anticipation, just good timing, nails the throw in a window for a touchdown. In a tight spot like the red zone, I'm okay with this placement in favor of the safety and not really the corner. The deep passing, mostly up the sidelines, were attempted often from Dart. The vertical passing game was a little underwhelming after I heard great things about it at Ole Miss, but in the NFL, it's come to fruition. It wasn't always completions, but he's doing what he needs to. Dart was consistently able to lay the ball out there, but the receivers executing was more of the bigger question. The fact he looks improved in this facet of the game within just a few months from the transition from college to the NFL probably hints that he's working on it specifically. Obviously, Jackson's working on all aspects of his game, but there are signs that there is emphasis on certain aspects entangled within this offense. This is all speculation. I don't really have Dart's or the Giants' agenda on me at the moment. Another part of Dart's game that looks much improved from his college play is the ball placement. It stood out so much to me. I'll always value the ability to throw with precision and intentionality. Ever heard the saying, the NFL is a game of inches? As cliche as it is, it's so true. This is just a simple choice concept. Dart fields the snap, waits for the break, but watch that placement. I love to see him pin it to the correct shoulder, helping his guy out. This is just a slant, but look at the receiver's positioning out of his break. The big-bodied receiver has inside leverage and separated. As he breaks out, the ball is delivered in stride on the face mask. A trait or something Dart has always done well is run the offense. Dart is decisive and efficient within scheme. He was that way in college and proved he can do the same in this Brian Daboll offense. This is a day 1 install, sail concept, stressing all 3 levels of the field. Dart does drop back, eyes on the sail route the entire time, and as soon as it's open, the ball's out. Accuracy wasn't perfect, but it's complete just as they designed it. The offense has this hitch to one side, stick on the other, versus off coverage, Dart chooses left, but watch him take a little drop, then dot, with timing and decisiveness outside. There was no added theatrics. Jaxson played this out how he was supposed to. This looks like F choice to me. Jaxson looks to read one and hits his guy on time. He's always been able to take what the offense gives him without getting bored. We can start to zoom out, get a little bit more broad, and kind of go over what Jaxson brings to the table when he's just on the field. I'll get to, and I'd like to highlight his arm, but we'll start with what he can do as a foot athlete. In college, I thought Dart was an impressive runner, especially on some of the quarterback draws or other designed runs. Obviously, the Giants saw some of the same, calling quarterback draw in his first NFL game. This play was only good for 5, nothing real spectacular, but these are the small hints you pick up, telling how the offense likes to call the game for him, and maybe what the vision was when they traded up to go draft him. Speaking of the vision they had for him, I'm sure the Giants have a long-term one in mind for Jaxson Dart. Barring injury, of course. The last play Jaxson was on the field, he took a hit instead of sliding or retreating out of bounds. I don't mind the mentality, but you're out there to experience as much as you can as a rookie in preseason, and you took yourself out of the game. But anywho, hopping back onto the athlete angle, he made about a 25-yard run. Ball quickly hit on his arm. Dart has a baseball background and that tends to show in his motion, but what I thought of his arm coming out of college was he already had above average arm talent, but if he improved his mechanics, he could maximize and build off of what he already had. I think this conversation also can tie into the strides he's made with ball placement. It looks like, to me at least, that he's slowed it down. He's not killing his arm every time he applies velocity. Again, the improvements he seems to be making over this short time frame is something I could never evaluate just from his college tape. This guy obviously has a great mindset. At Ole Miss, there's this stigma around that Lane Kiffin system that creates plenty of controversy for any quarterback produced by Mississippi. In this preseason film, I'm gonna be honest, there was not a ton of reps where I thought I was watching a quarterback play with a mental prowess. There's some masking with the way this offense was called and how these 3 games were shaped around Jaxson. If you haven't already noticed, most of the plays I've shown so far have been Jaxson stalking and eventually throwing to read 1. He is still picking sides of 3s and he did get to read 2 multiple times. But go watch any good NFL quarterback. When read 1 fails, they get to 2, then 3, and sometimes 4. This play stands out in terms of process. Jaxson drops back and the defense has read 1 covered and will shift over and look from the end zone angle where you watch him watch the seam, then drop his eyes on the rush and escapes. I understand he got great yardage. I know, but we're talking about this young man's career. How do you think people make it in this league? You think they get by doing what I just showed Dart doing? No, they work at it, they have answers mentally, and to succeed over his career, Jaxson will need to learn a lot about this game, and fortunately he has the time to do so. Do not get me wrong, I'm not writing him off, I'm not saying he'll never improve. I'm saying to thrive in this league and do it consistently, you need to make it second nature to go through your mental process in a much cleaner manner. And I'm not saying that needs to happen right now, he has time. I could probably sit down and write an essay with all of the thoughts in my head that I have about Jaxson Dart being labeled as some gimmick quarterback. It's an unfair designation for someone who has done nothing but execute the tasks he was asked to do. Same thing even here in the preseason. Giants called all sort of screens, RPOs, and even those fade routes that made for the big plays. There wasn't a lot of in between really. A lot of either short or quick targets with screens and RPOs, the keeper concepts, then the deep routes when the defensive look was advantageous for it. But by no means would I go out and call Jaxson Dart a gimmick guy. Obviously, Daboll wants to cater towards his strengths and build both comfort and confidence early on for his potential franchise quarterback. And to be honest, I thought Daboll and the entire offensive staff did a tremendous job understanding what Jaxson Dart is at this point in time and tailoring the offense around him. I wish more coaches did that with young quarterbacks. How many times do you hear that these kids are just overwhelmed, or the cliche drinking water from a fire hose? Jaxson Dart looked much better this preseason than I expected. I had him pegged as a day 2 guy, but he's shown real growth in a short amount of time, specifically with ball placement, decisiveness, and the way he was able to push the ball downfield. He's still raw when it comes to NFL quarterbacking and his mental processing, but the tools are there. Dart's not just a gimmick quarterback. Daboll did a great job building around his strengths. If Dart continues this kind of development, I can see why the Giants believed he was worth trading up for, and obviously they've done a great job executing whatever their plan was with him. And if you guys enjoyed what was in today's video, I'm sure you guys will enjoy my Twitter page if you go take a look at it. But anyways, that'll be it for me. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed, go ahead and leave a like, go down, subscribe, go watch the past content on the channel. I mean, I'll see you guys next time.
You ready?
Yeah. No, I want to hear the snap count.
Yeah.
Really?
Deuces.